What I found interesting about Sinners, have you seen Sinners?
Which one's Sinners?
So Sinners is a movie came out earlier this year with Michael B. Jordan.
Yes, good film.
It's brilliant.
Great film.
It's a movie by Ryan Coogler, right?
Right.
Who did Black Panther, one or two other films.
Wonderful.
And he wrote, I think he wrote, produced and directed it, right?
Right.
And then there was a bidding war for it. I guess I'm assuming because original screenplays that aren't just fucking rehashes of other shit or sequels, or whatever, are such hen's teeth now.
Yeah.
But he was able to negotiate a deal with I forget who it was, the studio, but yes, that's Warner Brothers or whatever.
Yeah.
Where he got first dollar gross. So basically, he got a cut of everything from the very first dollar.
Yeah.
Which never normally happens. He got final cut privileges on the thing with the studio, so he got to let him make it exactly how he wanted it, and he got ownership of the movie 25 years after its release.
Right.
So it reverts to him after 25 years, which I just thought seemed like an incredible...
Generous deal.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like you say, it sounds like there's not enough new good stuff kicking around.
And I guess he's quite a hot property, right? Because he's done, what movies has he done? He's done, like I say, Black Panther and he did the Black Panther sequel, which I've not seen, which apparently did well. He did Creed as well.
Right.
Just looking it up now. So, anyway, great stuff, isn't it?
B. Jordan.
It's a great movie, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And quite affordable to film, I'd say. There's only like two scenes. There's a scene by a railway, scene in a big house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is the review of Sinners with Michael B. Jordan
and Michael B. Jordan.
And Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, and Michael B. Jordan. And some vampires. Yeah.
Right, what you need to know about this film, this is Mark Kermode, is two scenes.
Yeah.
One by a train station.
Yeah.
One in a big old house.
I do not trust Mr. Kermode anymore because he reviewed the Naked Gun film poorly. He didn't do it poorly.
He's well known as being quite janky on comedy, isn't he?
Quite bad at comedy.
He's also got a big bee in his bonnet about Danny Dyer, hasn't he?
What, he likes Danny Dyer a lot? Hates him.
Yeah,
right.
Does an impression of him every time it comes up.
Doesn't seem to be a lot of opportunities to criticise Danny Dyer if you're doing films. 'Cause he'll occasionally do one of those kind of like weird Essexy tax break films, won't he? That kind of that looks a bit cheap. But he doesn't really sort of bother the film populace anymore, does he?
I'm just looking it up now. It seems it's being on the internet being referred to as an endless feud in 2015.
Right,
so
okay.
I don't know if it's still going.
Is it just two men with like different hairstyles?
Well, Danny Dyer, I think, called him a broadsheet once.
Right, yeah.
And then said, told him again to grow some bollocks.
Right.
And Mark Kermode, I think, is broadly speaking, just said, I don't think your films are very good.
Right. I just don't think he's done many films, has he? I mean, he did Human Traffic, didn't he? Or that other one that's a bit like Human Traffic.
I find Danny Dyer an interesting character because he clearly said some very problematic things in the past, and which I should say, in fairness, he's apologised for. But
he was off his canister.
Did you see his Louis Theroux episode?
I didn't know.
So Louis Theroux's back with the new podcast series, and the first episode is Steve Coogan.
Yeah,
which is really interesting.
I find Theroux tedious now, but I still watched quite a lot of that Coogan one.
Yeah. Well, my take on Theroux to digress away from the digression that I'm already on.
It's a double D digression.
It's a D squared. I find Theroux far more interesting when he's meeting fringe people and kind of subcultures than I do just interviewing celebrities. But he has done some really good celebrity stuff. His one with Armie Hammer was insane.
Recent Armie Hammer and post cannibal stuff.
Yeah, asked him about it. Asked him about it.
What did he say? He's like, I
have to listen to it.
I like it. I like it in my tum tum.
Armie Hammer did no come across well.
Good.
But he also did.
It says here you've been eating women or threatening to eat women.
Oh, so you have seen it. But his one with Danny Dyer was really interesting because I find Danny Dyer an interesting character because Danny Dyer did that show where he sits in the middle of a crowd and the crowd just ask him questions.
Right.
And some of them have learning disabilities and some of them are kind of vulnerable people.
Right.
And so they ask him quite disarming questions.
Yeah.
And he was incredibly personable, very emotional, and came across, I thought, as a very, kind of nice chap.
Yeah.
In the Louis Theroux clip I saw, it was him being asked about drying up on stage doing a Harold Pinter play
because he'd been up all night doing crack.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it was
that'll do it for you, though, won't it?
But you don't. One of the things that I realised is that you don't really hear quote unquote normal people with normal accents talking so honestly about that kind of stuff. Normally, you just if it's someone who's apologising, it's because it's some part of some apology tour they've got to do it.
Right.
Dyer's talking about it years later and it's been quite honest. I just find him quite an interesting character.
Yeah, I mean, you only ever hear it from. I think you only ever hear about drug taking from the enthusiast who is stopped. Do you know what I mean? I want to hear good news stories. I want to hear people having great times.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit tired. I had the best night last night.
Like the old Bill Hicks thing.
What?
He says, I'd take loads of drugs. I didn't rob anyone, didn't rape anyone, didn't murder anyone.
Yeah.
Just had a good time. But then watching Bill Hicks stuff back now is quite cringe.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
Yeah.
It's not very funny.
I mean, to be fair, your only sort of stand-up comedic touchstones are Bill Hicks and what's his name? Not Herring, the other one.
Stuart Lee.
Stuart Lee.
No,
They're the ones you respect.
No, I don't really respect Bill Hicks. I used to like him when I was a student.
I think everyone did, yeah.
Yeah. No, I like Daniel Kitson. Tim Key.
Yeah.
I like Tim Key.
Yeah. That was the broadsheet bellend or
yeah, well, yeah, obviously guilty as charged. I went to see Tim Key in Bristol a few months ago.
Yeah. I watched this film. Where was I? I might be.
Ballad of Wallace Island. I've seen that now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
A lot of fun. I very much enjoyed the. Again, nice cheap film.
Just in a big old house.
Just in a big old house on a nice little island. I think it was filmed in Wales. I want to say.
Yeah, it would have been. I think. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very good. And nice to see Tim Key being Tim Key, but on the big screen.
Exactly.
I think his talent deserves it.
Yeah.
He pops up in the new Partridge series as well.
Is that out in full or just out one sort of episode? It does look
all 6 are out on iPlayer.
Oh, that's my weekend then, isn't it? As long as people allow it.
What, you're only having a 3-hour weekend?
Yeah, because of all the drugs. There's a scene in the there's a TV show that won a load of Emmys called The Studio with that fellow who laughs like this.
I've not seen it, but I'm aware of it.
And the mum out of Home Alone, really dated references here.
Yeah.
That's the handle I've got.
Seth Rogen and Catherine O'Hara.
Yes, and Anna Sui's niece. Let's go through the whole cast. Anna Sui's niece and someone else. And it's basically a story of a Hollywood studio. And it was a bit fun, nicely put together and stuff. For me, nowhere near where a Emmy nomination should be, but it did make me sort of go, "Oh yeah, Hollywood is a piece of shit, isn't it?"
Right,
Hollywood's the worst.
Is the problem with American comedies that they just stack them really high and sell them cheap, and there's so many of them, and they've got so many episodes. And
only
so many
10
seasons.
episodes, and they're only 20 minutes long. Some of them.
Yeah, but it'll be 8 seasons long, that show, won't it?
Yeah. Well, I guess it will be. They do sort of. I guess with a writer's room, you can sort of bash out quite a lot quite quickly compared to our like two-man shows.
Have you got stuck into the new Office spin-off?
Yeah, I did. Watched the first one. Thought I'm never going to watch this again. Watched 2 or 3 more, and it was they've got something here.
Oh right,
still not enough to watch the rest.
Right, because it's not been that well received, has it?
No, it never was going to be, was it? I guess. I mean, if your entire fan base is hanging on a character like Oscar, who is one of the accountants in the US office. I know I've not watched, but he's not the most particularly. It's not the sort of character you go, "Oh, I'm glad to see him back."
Right.
And for the rest, I mean, Donald Gleason and the Italian lady from White Lotus, who is I said that to Sarah. I said she's a lot older than you think because I saw it on a piece about her, and she said, "Yeah, she looks around about that age." And I was like, "Okay." I'm just not very good at guessing ages. You see.
How old am I?
How old are you? Well, you just had your haircut, so
it's true.
Take
years off me or put years on me.
Have I added or lost any by taking my ponytail off?
I think you look much better with that hair you got now.
Yeah, okay,
it's great.
Yeah,
looks really good.
Pulling it back.
But on the is it called The Paper?
The Paper.
So when I went to see Tim Key, I'm not betraying a confidence here because I was literally in the audience where where he was saying it. There was a Q&A at the end. And someone asked him about it and said, "Oh, are you excited for it to come out? And do you think it'll be good?" And he was, I can't remember exactly what he said, so I don't want to misquote him, but he wasn't enthusiastic about it.
It wasn't effusive enough.
I'm not sure he enjoyed the experience.
Right.
Maybe, or that he didn't think the final product was like, I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it wasn't like, it's going to be amazing, you should definitely go and watch it. It was just like, yeah.
It's not really anyone's vibe, I guess, in the UK, though, is it? We're terrible press people, aren't we?
What does that mean?
Well, you're just terrible at like kind of selling ourselves, aren't we? The British.
Yeah,
The British.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is that his response made me think, okay, you didn't think it was very good. That's my impression I got of it. I'm not saying I'm right. I haven't seen it, but that's the impression I was given. But speaking of travel, because the whole point of his thing I went to go and see was called LA Baby, about his new book about him traveling to LA to make this show.
Okay, nice.
That's his new poetry collection.
Okay.
Speaking of travel, I drove up to the lakes last week.
Right,
Which is while I was away. You were in Spain, were you?
Yes.
Yeah. Was that good?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fine. Yeah, all good.
I took my wife away, the Wi-Fi I have access to, for her birthday weekend. And we went to stay in this spa hotel up in near Keswick, and it was lovely. But the funny thing was that we were due to leave on the Friday morning. We were supposed to get up, take our son to his aunt's to stay, and then we were going to drive up to Keswick from Maidstone in Kent. Yeah, which is a hell of a drive. I mean, if you're not British and listen to this, it's probably about as long as a drive in England gets. And my son was up all night being sick. Yeah, right. And so he stopped being sick about 2:30 in the morning. And we were supposed to leave about 9.
Empty. He's empty by then.
And I was up basically half a night with him. I was like, I've got to do this drive now. And we ended up leaving much later because of that incident. And then about 2 hours into the journey north, that storm Amy hit.
Oh man,
so
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
the journey was full on. It basically took almost 9 hours.
Can't drive fast.
And we got to that. Have you heard of it? This is a really Alan Partridge question. Have you heard of a road called the A66?
Yes. Is that Manchester?
So it basically cuts across. I think it goes from Middlesbrough to Penrith in Cumbria. So it basically
over the Pennines.
Yeah, it cuts across the Pennines. Right. It's an amazing drive.
Yeah,
for part of it, but that the weather was so bad that night. By the time we got up there, it was about 7 p.m. Right. That the weather was so bad they were turning trucks back.
Whoa! What, too high-sided?
Yeah, so you can't drive across if you're a truck. And making them turn round.
Right.
So I was basically
giraffes craning the necks. Yeah, I can't stand up.
Giraffes just like horizontal angle.
Yeah. Are you a horse? Wait until this wind stops.
I was fighting the steering wheel all the way. My wife doesn't drive in the UK, so it was all on me, baby.
Exhilarating if you open the window, I guess.
So we missed our dinner reservation, Peter.
Yeah, surely your Volvo's a high-sided vehicle.
Fairly high-sided.
Tall, high-sided.
We've managed to pass under the.
They just have like a little stick, like a little limbo. They're going, it's limbo time. You turn around.
I put it in another little mode, so it just went all the way down. So it's really flat. It's like a wacky racer's car.
Get the old airbags out. Yeah.
Have you spent much time in Cumbria, Peter?
I've not. No.
Surely you would have gone like domestic staycations
terrorism
with your family. With your family from there.
No, not really.
Where did you go on your family holidays when you were a kid then?
Scarborough.
Okay, so you kept it even more local.
Filey and Scarborough. We didn't have a car, so it's difficult.
How did you get to Scarborough from Hartlepool without a car then?
Bus.
A bus. Did you do one of those holidays that northern families did in the 80s where the whole village goes?
No, is that a thing?
Well,
like a proper Beano?
I just remember, like a Beano. I remember I used to live with a guy from Blackrod,
right,
which is near Bolton. He's a very northern man. Good friend of mine, lovely fella. He actually runs BBC Radio Solent now. Oh. But he's a lovely guy. And I lived with him because he moved into a spare room in our house when I first moved to London. Yeah. Okay, I'll roll all the way back to the boathouse. I moved to London with 3 friends. One of them got a lady pregnant after about 3 weeks.
Insatiable.
Incredible.
Well, I mean, you cannot... For a week per baby performance, that's incredible. You have to say he's done very well.
Yeah, so his daughter now, I think, would be in her 20s, right?
Yeah. And she's deputy head of BBC Radio Solent.
yeah, she works here. Yeah. And so he moved out. He's like, all right, I've got to go.
Can't raise a child in a house with Lukey Moore.
Well, also...
He's very loud.
He only met the girl a week before that.
Look, are they still together?
They are still together.
Well, there you go. What a fantastic story.
Very happily married.
Yeah.
Well, they're married. I don't know, but they're married.
Okay.
Anyway, so we had a spare room. So this guy who moved in instead, we didn't know him. We just advertised the room, and he turned up. He seemed like a lovely fellow. Worked in a similar industry to me. I was working at Capital Radio at the time. And so he moved in. Great lad, still a friend of mine now. He is so northern that when he used to go on family holidays, him, all his brothers and sisters, all his cousins, all his aunts and uncles, and about 3 or 4 houses from down the street where he grew up would all go on holiday together. Like 45 of them.
Takes a village. I love that.
To like a campsite.
Right.
And when we questioned him about it, he was like, like it was the most normal thing ever. Like,
Right.
And he kind of intimated that northern families do that all the time.
I don't. I've never heard of anyone doing that. That's insane.
And then, of course, back in the day,
you go on holiday to get away from those people, surely.
Yeah, kind of. But also back in the day, didn't the factories used to close for like a couple of weeks and everyone would go on holidays together?
I literally don't know.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Right? Did they? Okay.
So you
right.
say you were working down the mine or in a big factory.
They'd all close and everyone would go on holiday together.
Yeah, because they'd closed the factory for like 2 weeks. Go, right, now you're all going to Blackpool. And they'd all go.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That feels mad.
And sometimes they also had their own currency, didn't they?
No, they didn't.
They did.
You're talking
They'd
nonsense
pay you
here.
in their own currency, so you'd have to buy
Oh,
fruit.
the mine. Oh, she'd have to have the mine-sponsored holiday.
So you'd have to
This
buy...
doesn't feel like something that happened in like even the 70s.
I don't know
This
the time
feels
frame.
like the 20s, surely.
I didn't say a time frame. I said back in the day, but you
The
used
last 20s, not this one.
But they'd pay you in this currency that meant you
Right.
had to go to their shop to buy your shit.
It's the original Trump coin.
Yeah, kind of.
The original Bitcoin.
Kind of, isn't it? In a
Oh,
way.
yeah.
But so you didn't do any of that stuff.
Didn't do any of that, no. We went to...
What was the highlights
We
of
went to Mallorca.
What was your highlights of Scarborough?
Oh,
What's good about Scarborough?
What's good about Scarborough? My mum had the shits one time, and my dad walked for ages. Again, didn't have a car, had to walk for ages to get to a pharmacy that could buy some stop shitting everywhere.
Imodium.
Yeah, Imodium.
Would it have been
or whatever it
Imodium
was.
then?
I guess not. It probably would have been sort of something like Mercury in probably in the 80s. But she would. So my dad went ages to get by this medicine, and for some reason, like, I'm not being funny. Like, my dad was annoyed about it, but he shouldn't have given it to a child. But I was about 12, and I think, and I had the bag with the thing in. And I was swinging it around.
The medicine, yeah.
And, medicine. I smashed the glass bottle into a wall, and no more medicine for
Before your mum
mum
could get it.
I think my mum had had a dose, but with
Not
stuff
enough.
like not enough. You got to keep on going. But I remember my dad being very annoyed about that. But
How many times did you go to Scarborough in total?
Scarborough twice, Filey once, I think.
Okay, so 3 family holidays
3 family
domestically.
holidays, yeah.
And the first thing you could remember is your mum having the shits.
Mum on the shits. Me getting £5 per day for 5 days, and instead of buying it on toys, I bought a collection. Which, to be honest, if I'd have kept hold of them, they would have been worth an absolute bomb. Simpsons merchandise, Simpsons figurines. I bought one every day and had no more money for the rest of the holiday. Whereas my sister would keep hold of hers and buy sweets with it.
Did you ever play the Simpsons arcade machine while you're there?
Exactly the same
Classic.
holiday. Yeah, exactly the same holiday. I spent,
Bart had the skateboard. Marge had the Hoover. Homer
Dad.
had...
The beer? No.
Homer was just punching, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was just punching. He was brawler, wasn't he?
Lisa had a saxophone, didn't she?
Yeah, and sometimes Bart Simpson would sort of float in. And
Yeah. No,
like,
what happened was, it was a
Bartman,
4-player game, wasn't it?
He was Bartman.
But it was a 4-player game.
Yeah.
And if you would play, it was like a scroll and shoot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And if someone else put the money and joined you, they would float
They
down.
would float in, yeah, and just start.
Yeah. I was
What a
always
game.
Bart.
It's a very, very popular game. You can buy like reproductions of it. Arcade 1-Up do versions of it. They started to. There was this one that was released this week that was a wrestling one, and everyone's very upset because of licensing restrictions. Sergeant Slaughter's been taken out, and Legion of Doom.
Why?
Just because they're not part of WWF Legends contracts. So like when you re-release these games,
Legion
you
of
have
Doom
to
are dead,
take them out.
aren't they?
Yeah.
So how can they ever be part of it?
Well, I presume someone's sort of executing their sort of estate. I think when people die of like drugs and enlarged hearts and stuff, they tend to not have Legends contracts. Because you can still have a Legends contract. Your estate can have a Legends contract, I think.
Right.
Sergeant Slaughter's still at every con with that beautiful chin. He's always going to look iconic because he's got a big chin, like a big chin man.
Is he? He must be old now. Sergeant.
He's old, but he's always been quite big, so he looks good now because he looks exactly the same
But
as
you
he
always
did.
told me that the bigger fellas die younger. You always said that to me. So you're going
Too
to
big for this world. Too big for this world.
Rupert Rudolph Remus, aka Sergeant
What a
Slaughter.
fucking name.
He's 77.
Good God. Yeah, he looks good, man. That chin will not quit. So he's always going to look this because you're never going to lose the fat. You might lose a bit of fat out of your cheeks and look a bit drawn. But when that face is sort of pulled across such a magnificent chin, you're going to look all right. But
So I'm just reading this now. This is a really interesting aspect of Sergeant Slaughter. So his gimmick is that he's a US Marine, Vietnam War veteran.
yeah,
But Remus himself never served in the military and
No.
received several draft deferments and even opposed the war, often protesting and demonstrating within the anti-war movement. This has caused controversy because at times he has talked about military service while seeming to be speaking of himself and not in character.
stolen valor.
But this interesting. But if you're
Like John Cena, he's always pretended to be a Marine, isn't he?
I guess, yeah, he's
His
bred
whole thing
fatigues
is
and
Marine
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
But if you are Johnny Vegas speaks quite eloquently about this in his Desert Island Discs. If you are known so much for a certain character that is an exaggeration of yourself or a version of yourself, it does become really difficult to know where the lines are. And Coogan, actually taking it back to Coogan, he talked about that in that interview with Louis Theroux about Alan Partridge. He thinks of them as two circles, and they cross over sometimes. And sometimes they're identical, and sometimes they drift apart.
Yeah. And kind of slightly based on his dad, wasn't it? I suppose.
Was
like
it?
His
Okay.
kind of.
I heard it was based on a. I heard that Partridge was based initially on a Liverpudlian radio DJ called Graham Beecroft,
right,
who was on Talk Sport when I worked there as an AP, who was very Partridge. And as far as I remember, Beaky Beecroft used to use it as a bit of a badge of honour. He used to be quite chuffed about it.
I think a lot of, and certainly the same with Gervais working at XFM, pretty much every objectionable character in Authority that you ever met, people would say he was based on Ricky Gervais's character. Sorry, Gervais character. I'm not going to say the names, but there are certain people in that who work for XFM, DJs and management, who people said, "Oh, that's based on him. That's based on that character Gervais is based on him." It's probably an amalgam of like a million different things, but every man to a certain at a certain age becomes a David Brent. I think I sent you a picture, didn't I, on WhatsApp
Of what?
me at a wedding with three members.
So for people listening, you sent me one of those wedding photos that wedding photographers do, where they get the whole wedding party in a shot from like a bird's eye view looking up. Right? And you said to me, "Look at this," for whatever reason. And the only person I could see in there who was famous was Stephen Merchant.
Yeah,
Who else is in there?
So there's a bloke, quite a sort of like.
Whose wedding was it, first of all?
It was my ex's brother. And he went to school with Will Smith, who wrote Slow Horses.
Oh, he was in it as well, yeah. He's in the thick of it.
And he's in the thick of it. Was he in the office as like a new star or something? Or like was he one of the interviewees?
No.
Well, she'd brighten up the place, and he was the other guy.
No, that's
was
Robin Ince.
It is Robin Ince. You're right. Anyway, right, okay. So and there was another guy in there who was in the office.
Who's that?
There's a blonde bloke who looks quite sort of sexless.
Right. Okay.
There's a sexless man.
So why were all these kind of famous people?
I don't know. I was just
comedy doyens in there.
I just happened to be at a wedding. It was just the groom posted a picture of it while I was away on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, look at that! There's Merchant at the back. There's Will Smith, who was in the thick of it, and that other sexless man."
You're in your skinhead punk rocker.
That guy there. You know this guy. You would have seen this guy in the office. There he is. He looks a bit glam rock.
The guy who's playing darts.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so funny, isn't it?
It's weird, isn't it? You sort of look back and sort of go, I think Cassette Boy was also in there as well. Do you remember Cassette Boy?
Yeah, I don't know what he looks like though. It's a secret, isn't it?
Is it a secret?
Is it
like Banksy?
Yeah, it might be.
A tall man with glasses.
I told you about the Banksy. My best friend knows who Banksy is. It's a funny story because he is the most unconnected bloke to popular culture ever. Right. We looked at his phone once, my mate, and the only app he had on his phone was the emoji app that you didn't even need anymore because Apple bought emoji like 15 years ago. Right. He had no apps on his phone.
No apps.
He's not on social media.
Right.
He doesn't know anything about popular culture.
He'll live to 100.
And then someone was talking about Banksy, right? And I think that's what it was. There was a photo of Banksy leaked or whatever. Someone was like, that's Banksy, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about it because my other mate had a Banksy painting because back in the day before he blew up, my mate was quite into kind of local art.
Yeah.
And so he just got it. It was the one with
Brighton, wasn't it? Was he a Brighton bloke, I think?
Well, this one is I don't actually know. But this one was the painting of the acid face in a Grim Reaper outfit.
Nice, yeah, okay.
It's quite big.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened to it. Anyway, so we're talking about this Banksy thing, and my mate was like, "Oh, you see, this photo has apparently been released of Banksy." And my other mate, who knows nothing about popular culture, is not interested in any way, he looked over the front, he went, "Oh, Robin, I know him. Drinks down my pub," and it was actually him.
And his hands are covered in paint.
And it turns out in the end, this guy's now wife's sister was in a relationship with Banksy for years.
There you go.
And he gave loads of paintings to their family, and they're from New Zealand. and they now visit in New Zealand with money that they've
Sold
made
from
sold from all these Banksies.
That's amazing. Politically, how would you sort of approach someone who you had a painting when they were quite, young? Could you sort of go to them and go, "Can you sign this, please?" We can't really sign it, can you? Can you authenticate it? I suppose it kind of works.
Yeah, you could do that. There was a really...
You wouldn't remember because it's at the end of the day, it's like they're stencils. So you probably remember photoshopping the stencils and getting them laser cut or however you do them nowadays or back in the day. Like you probably don't remember how many times you've even sort of used that stencil, no? Or you, I don't know. Like, would you remember the odd, pound note with the Queen's face, with Princess Diana's face on and stuff like that? It's really hard to authenticate. Presumably, if you do that much content,
you'd be gutted, wouldn't you? If you knew it was one of his, but you couldn't prove it.
Yeah, massively.
There's a podcast episode, and I forget the artist, but it's a really, really famous artist. Let's say like Van Gogh or something, right? I don't think it was Van Gogh, but I got that level of artist. And the podcast episode was fascinating because it was an interview with a curator of a museum and gallery who was an art expert and who had all these paintings of this Van Gogh type character.
Yeah.
But before he was any good. And they're saying like, there's we can't put these up in the gallery because they're objectively shit. But they are authentically from this artist before he was any good. So we don't know what to do with them. So we don't know how to value them. So they're just in this vault. Because,
that's a shame.
Because they're not really going to be displayed.
The genesis of this art, no?
Yeah, I guess there would be some merit to it, but they were saying that like it's people won't come and see them.
That's a shame. That is a shame.
I've had a few people emailing though after the last episode asking if you've got yourself an AI girlfriend yet.
No. I don't think my data package could control the amount of data the amount of selfies I'd be sending her.
I was absolutely shocked the other day when I saw the amount of energy that is needed to generate these AI videos.
Yeah.
The example being used was the Stephen Hawking getting beaten up in the UFC ring.
Yeah, and him doing a
half pipe.
Yeah.
And
Robot Wars. There was a Robot Wars one.
That's low hanging fruit. That people were making the Stephen Hawking Robot Wars jokes for years.
Come on, he's been to the island. He's free fair game.
We're heating up the planet for this.
Yeah,
aren't we?
We are. Yeah, and I mean it is an I do. I do find that the whole. There's a certain part of me, and I've started to sort of think about this more recently. Like, there is a certain part of me that's like, I look at these sort of like absolute fucking wank that our dads are putting together and sharing on WhatsApp to people, and it's very impressive and stuff that it looks. It for the first time, dads have been able to make videos and Photoshop stuff without even having to learn.
Oh, my dad can't do that. My dad's not interested in that stuff.
Do the hard yards that my dad spent so long becoming passable at, and. There is a little bit of me that like we criticize like AI muck that men of a certain age are obsessed with sending around. That it feels a bit like classist that companies can use AI. Do you know what I mean? Like big business can use AI, but my dad can't do a satirical video about the centre aisle of Aldi. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
There's a little bit of me that sort of goes, it's a bit of snobbishness. Like we're all paying in with our own we're all paying into this system. We've all had our identities co-opted. We've all had our attentions co-opted by big tech. So it feels a little bit distasteful for me. But then you see some of it and you go, fucking give it to Hollywood. They're the ones who be
yeah,
make a new iRobot.
Yeah, did you see? Ben Shapiro? Right, yeah. Did you see him?
Little fella. I imagine those guys have probably gone to ground after recent events because like they're not known for their bravery, one would suggest, punching down constantly.
There was an amazing exchange between Ben Shapiro and David Simon.
The bloke who wrote The Wire?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just... it's Ben Shapiro showing that
he's not trying to figure out black culture again, is he?
But like, you know what's really? I know this is going to sound snobbish of me, but there's a certain element of the right wing kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, the content creation
sphere.
Yeah, they've got absolutely no experience, grasp, or appreciation for any kind of like creative culture. It's like aliens to them. They've not grown up, say, listening to punk music or watching like movies or do you know what I mean? There's no
because they're outcasts. They've been outcasts. They've been nerds all the time. Yeah.
So they just don't understand it. I'm not even criticising Ben Shapiro for that specific thing.
No,
I'm just saying.
But the things that come out of his mouth, you can criticise him for.
Yeah, fine, of course.
Indicative of his past.
But in this context, I don't know why he's interviewing David Simon, but he is.
Right.
David Simon is obviously a genius. For reasons obviously I don't need to go into because it would be boring for people. But he's also well known as a proper, like, takes no shit, suffers no falls, both barrels guy, right? Yeah. And he will go into bat with anyone. So I have no idea why they're even talking to each other. Yeah. And this exchange is really fucking funny because Ben Shapiro has no grasp of what it takes to be David Simon, and David Simon's just not interested in any way in Ben Shapiro, right? So I'll just read a short bit of the exchange, right? And Ben Shapiro's trying to introduce the ideas of things like AI because he thinks, oh, that'll be something interesting. And so Shapiro says to Simon,
"Yeah, the voice.
Okay, okay. So you spent your career creating television without AI, and I can imagine today you're thinking, boy, I wish I had the AI tool to solve those thorny problems. Boy, if that had existed, that would have really screwed me over." And Simon just says, "I don't think AI can remotely challenge what writers do at a fundamentally creative level." And Ben Shapiro says, "But if you're trying to transition from scene 5 to scene 6 and you're stuck with that transition, you could imagine plugging that portion of the script into AI and say, give me 10 ideas of how to transition." And Simon says, "I'd rather put a gun in my mouth."
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting to hear Ben Shapiro talk about transitioning anyway.
Oh, dear. All right, then.
We'll see you on Thursday, I
see you on
suppose.
Thursday, where our guest will be Candace Owens.